Hello and welcome to another video on the Blue Abroad YouTube channel. Now, we've got the bye this week, so thought we'd have a moment to reflect on what's happened so far, and there'll be a series of videos that I create to do so. The first one was just revisiting the preseason tier ranking list that I created for all of us to complete. Now, what I've done is I've gotten the original list that I had, and I've just shared my screen with you all and made some adjustments on the fly. So obviously at the end of the season, I'll update this again and we'll see how that one plays out. To be honest, I was kind of tempted to just put Chera at tier 1 and move everybody down one because I think he's been exceptional this season and super consistent. But I'm about to share my screen, and at the end of this video, I'm going to ask you to A, let me know what you think in the comments below, and B, hit the link and do your own tier maker and send it to me. Send it to me on Instagram, post it to me on Twitter, tag me, and we'll go from there. So firstly, appreciate the feedback on the initial tier maker list. I didn't realize that you could actually react, so I'll give myself a nice little reaction here. How about that? Now, this is how I see the current state of affairs. At the start of the year, we had quite a lot in tier 1 and tier 2. Typical me, getting excited, getting way too excited. Think one of the first changes I would make to this tier 1 list. Wow, I don't know. To be honest, part of me just wants to put Chera in tier 1 and the rest to drop down a level. But I think Kennedy has now become a player that sees himself out of the side consistently, rightly or wrongly, depending on where you see it. I think Hewitt is in the same boat. There's just a bit of a question mark, which is so fascinating that that's even the case right now. I think I would leave it at that. The reality is quite a few of these guys in tier 1 have had patches this year where they've just been out of form, just not at their best. I think Ches would be right at the top of this list right now because I think he's just been such a consistent performer. But if you look at each and every one of these guys, they've all had their moments where they just haven't been at their best, some longer than others. Like Jacob obviously has struggled, but like you're not putting him in tier 2. I wouldn't anyway. So that's kind of how I see tier 1. I'll take 2 out. Tier 2. Do any of them go up the top? To be honest, I feel like Nick Newman has showed that he's kind of here in terms of what he's done this year so far. I feel like he's really elevated his game. He's had a few where he hasn't been in form, but I think for the majority of the time that he's played, he's been really good for us. Obviously, Mitch, so-so. Zach, devastating that he's not with us. Akers, put him sort of towards the end of tier 2. I don't know. I'm not too sure. Pitto's another one. I think Jack certainly would probably come down here now, which is so interesting because my comments about Jack at the start of the year, like I was just sure this was going to be the breakout year for him, given the amount of years he's been in the system. I probably would put Lewis Young here as well, given that he's started to really find himself out of the side. Fish is probably another one. Had quite a few games in the VFL now to put him in tier 2. Yeah, I think I like this as a tier 2. Tier 3. Do any go up? No. I would argue none of these guys go up. If anything, maybe some of them come down. I probably put a little bit too much of a premium on our small forwards, but I mean, they're young, they're in their first few years, so don't know if they go in tier 4. I think I'd keep them there. Lockie O'Brien's probably one I'd put here now, given the emergence of Ollie Hollands, and obviously Blake Acres is there, and he just finds himself in the VFL for a big chunk of the year. Caleb still hasn't played a game. I guess neither has Jack Martin. He's played one or a couple. So they're just such enigmas because when they play, they're good enough. But when they don't play, they don't play. So let's just go one by one. I think Plough would probably come here now, given he doesn't play much. Ed, it's interesting because he's played quite a fair bit of senior footy this year, but I just don't rely on him for the future. So I don't really know how to think about that. Cunners, Jack, Lewis, and Fish. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm happy with that. Tier 4. There are some here that I definitely would like to change. I think Sammy Durden would come here now. He's not playing. He's just not playing at all. And he's a backup, so that's fine. Kemp. Oh, God, I'm tempted to bring Kemp up, if anything. Yeah, I think I will. I think this is now where he sits. I'm tempted for Jordan Boyd as well because he's playing some footy, but I might just put him at the top of tier 4 for now because it's a little early. Honey, I think I might put him down here. I'm just not sure where he's at right now with his form. Jack Carroll. There's another one. He's just not playing. Might keep him there. Ollie's going to stay here. Look, to be fair, when he's fit, he's in the side. So that would probably suggest he's here. So, and also he's been a solid story for us. Lockie O'Brien, Lockie Plowman, fair. Cowan, he will certainly come up. I'd be tempted to put him here, but I think tier 4. I think he's just a level below Ollie, and Ollie's been playing for a little longer, but it's good to see him get a taste of senior footy. Binns, I mean, if you look at his VFL performances, I'm tempted to just put him here. Yeah, I think this is the move. Yep. Fogg played his first game for the year on the weekend. Yeah, I don't think he sits here. He might come up one. Oh, it's one game. Am I getting carried away? We'll put him at the front of the list. I'm just not sure. To be honest, at the start of the year, I just wasn't sure where he fit. Now, he's played one game, so let's just see how that one plays out. Lemmy, development, not a factor to be selected. Maybe that's why Fogg goes, because at least he's a factor to be selected. Whereas these guys down the bottom, they're just not going to be playing for various reasons. Now, Lemmy's young, Philps injured, Murkov injured, or, obviously having his situation with his surgery. Aquay not playing, but development. Sam Durden, he's just kind of there just in case of an emergency. And Honey, yeah, I think he's had a chance, and I'm just not sure where he's at. I'm really not sure what the story is. A few more games of the season left, so we'll see how that one plays out. So that's that. That is how I see the list at the moment, where everybody sits. It's been a bit disappointing overall to see so many drop, but there's been a couple that have risen as well, and that is generally coming from the youth. So that's a tick. Is it enough of a tick? Probably not. I was hoping to see a few more from that third list rise to 2 and 2 to 1, but it looks like I think more were sort of sliding down than those that were climbing up. So yeah, like I said, share with me in the comments. What would you do? How would you see it? Obviously, everyone sees it differently and their biases are different, and probably their definitions of what tier 1 is and tier 2 is a little different. So with that being said, share with me in the comments below. What changes would you have made and where would you put them? And if you are on Instagram, if you are on Twitter, go to the link, make your own list. It's all there for all of us to use. Tag me on Twitter or send it to me on Instagram, and we'll go from there. Looking forward to a bye, even though I know what's going to happen. I know exactly what's going to happen. We're going to get to the bye, and I'm going to want footy back so much, and I'm just going to be yearning for it for next week. But we have a pretty big, I don't know if you call it a second half of the season or final third of the season to come, and there's still plenty to achieve. So see you on the other side. Go Blues.